fabulous artists. This week in art class we're going to be using cardboard. So this is my example of Pablo Picasso in my self-portrait. I think it looks exactly like me. So the first thing you need to do is to get some cardboard. You can use thick cardboard like from an Amazon box, or you can use cereal boxes or anything else. So I'm going to start off with cutting out some shapes. So the first thing you do is get a scrap piece of cardboard and you're going to draw your shapes of eyes. The fun thing about Picasso is eyes can be triangle, they can be oval, they can even be organic and all wibbly wobbly. So you can pick which shape you want for your eye. Next, you might want to think of the shape of a nose. Now, this is the time where you can use a triangle for a nose. And you can draw two separate circles. So get some eye shape and some nose shapes. It doesn't really matter. You can even just go ahead and start cutting the cardboard without drawing shapes first. So I'm going to just cut some random shapes. I've got a triangle shape. I have a organic blobby shape. If you need help cutting or it's too thick, try using a cereal box or an oatmeal box. Remember the trick I taught you guys last time? Cut with the back of the scissors. It makes it easier, and you move the scissors and your fingers to cut around the shapes. It's an easier way to cut than using the tip of your scissors. Next, I'm going to cut out a triangle shape. I'm also going to keep these shapes because I can use them for something else later. So I'm cutting out the nose shape. I think I'm actually going to leave these two together. That might look kind of cool. And I'm going to keep these shapes. I don't know what I'm going to use them for yet, but I'm sure we'll think of something fun. And I'm going to make this maybe into an eyebrow shape. What shape can an eyebrow be? Triangle maybe? The fun thing about this is you can just cut a whole bunch of shapes and play around to make some faces. So let's see. So you can use a scrap piece of cardboard for all of your pieces. And then you can also use a bigger piece of cardboard for the base of your Picasso. So I'm going to try to come up with some ideas. So maybe I'll try this as my nose, and I'll stack this for a nostril here. And maybe I want a big nostril on that side. The whole part about this is it gets to be fun and abstract. And abstract is making something look similar to something you might see, but it doesn't exactly look like the item or the object. So for example, if I'm making a face, we can have the idea of a face and it doesn't have to look exactly like a face. So if you look at that, that kind of looks like I have an eye, some eyebrows, a nose. Here's my lips. If I want to add some pupils, I can make some circles from some scraps, and they don't have to be perfect either. Here's another one. Great, that looks great. Once you decide what shapes you're going to use for your face, and you can get a big piece and kind of set it out on there. The next step you want to do is you want to color. So with my first one, I used crayons to make my Pablo Picasso face. And my second one, I've used some markers. So if you take a look here, I've got some markers. It has a different look. So if you wanted to try, this could be one of my eyes because I already cut it out and colored it. And let's try coloring in this eye. With cardboard, it can be a little tricky. So you want to take your time so you can color it all the way in so it doesn't completely look like cardboard anymore. My red marker is kind of drying out, but that's okay. All right. Which way do you want this eye? I could do it this way. I could, oh, I kind of like it that way. I'm also going to take this piece now and I'm going to color in the pupil. And I already did green, so let me try pink for this pupil. Oops. It's a little slippery guy. Sliding around everywhere. So I'm going to make this guy purple. And I'm going to put them on this eye. So these are actually warm colors and cool colors. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I think I'll switch this one over to, ooh, you can put 2 in for cute eyes. I know a lot of you guys like to do those cute eyes, you call them. So now I've mixed my warm and cool colors and I think that looks a little better. Then you'll continue to color in all of your pieces. Okay, I've cut out a whole bunch more shapes and I've colored them all in. So here's all the shapes I've colored and now we're going to work on composition. Composition is the way that you arrange things on your canvas or on the surface that you're working on. So for us, our canvas or our surface is going to be the shape of our head. It could be any shape you want. You could even use the side that has some printing on it. It could make it look fun and unique. So I'm going to try that actually. It looks sort of cool. So I'm going to start with picking maybe some eyes. So I liked this one for an eye and I'm going to put an eyebrow and I think I like this shape. Now it's fun with composition when you don't glue things down first because then you can get an idea of what it's going to look like before you glue it down and you might want to make some changes. So I'm going to put some pieces down and kind of look at it, see what I like. Kind of like this for a nose shape. I have all these fun pieces I cut out for maybe hair I was thinking. I did notice when you use a marker on the cardboard, it doesn't show up exactly the same color. So you want to just be aware of that. So when Mrs. Richards was reading This Is Not a Box this week, if you haven't read that, you should listen to her read aloud on it because the fun part about it is talking about taking an ordinary item and changing it into art. So I think I like this ear on this side and this ear on this side because of the colors. And again, I have 2 warm colors and I think if I put a cool color on the warm color, it'll make it pop out more. So I'm going to do that. And I think I want to switch these too. So because I haven't glued it down, I can work on changing the composition of my paper and of my items. And if you make your eyebrows go in different directions, you can make them look mad or happy. Maybe you want to make curves and not triangular ones. I may want to move this lip. There we go. I like that. And then for hair, I took some strips of cardboard and I kind of wrapped them around a pencil so you can use these kind of shapes for hair. Or I cut out some of these from the cardboard box and I can do it maybe this way, or I can have some hair sticking straight up. That's kind of fun. Let's see. I kind of like the way that looks. So once you've arranged your composition in the way that you like, you can start gluing. Now you can use Elmer's white school glue, but if you do that, it's going to take a little while to dry and you just do a little tiny dab. So if you're going to glue it on, you just want to do a little tiny dot about that big and stick it on. And you have to wait for it to dry. Now I'm going to take my other piece and I'm going to stick it on. Just a little bit of glue. You can also use a glue stick. That's what I used on this one right here. And it worked out pretty well. Looks like my eyebrow's a little loose, but that's okay. So I have 2 different examples here. I hope you can see them both in the video. Let me that. Let's see. Yeah, we can see them. Okay, so when you're working on it, you can color in your hair. You can use crayons or markers. If you have acrylic paint at home, you can use acrylic paint. Watercolor on cardboard, though, will kind of soften it so it gets weak. But go ahead and experiment. You can make a couple of these. You can make a self-portrait. let's see. Ooh, I kind of like the way this wavy hair looks over here. You can also cut strips of cardboard. I wanted to show you some of the cardboard I used. I used an old Sharpie box for some of it. And my niece had a Vans box, so I used a Van box. Oh no, it's actually Tom's. So I used a Tom box, and that's where I got kind of this pattern here. So don't be afraid to use boxes that have things on them. You can create it into your artwork. So I can't wait to see what you've created with cardboard this week. Please post on our Flipgrid where it says Cardboard Creations, and I'll be bringing you another art project as well. Have a great week. Bye guys.